Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is Ring Out Solstice Bells by Jethro Tull. I feel like I'm really getting to know Jethro Tull here on the channel. Started out with Locomotive Breath, did some Skating Away, and then did all of Thick as a Brick, both part 1 and part 2. Now we're doing some Solstice Bells. This one was requested for this time of year, so I'm recording it a little bit ahead of time, but it's going to be posted right around the time of solstice, somewhere in the holidays in there. We'll have to see which day fits best. But I do know that this song actually was recorded in 1976, and the album it was on was released early in 1977, but they actually did release this song as like a little Christmas thing in December of 1976. So that is kind of fun. Little tradition here. This reaction is going to be posted in December. So let's dig in. But what are we digging into exactly? I am a professional, classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we dig in to all the little details of this music, how it's composed, the instruments that might be used in it. I might talk about some music theory, maybe do some instrument demonstrations, and we just talk about in general, why do we like this music, or maybe why do we not like it? So enough delay, let's begin the festivities. Let's listen. All right, let's go.
Now is the solstice of the year, when there is the glad song that you hear. Yeah. 7 days move in 7 time. Have the lads of bread in a line. Ring out these bells. Ring out, ring solstice bells. Ring solstice bells.
Wow, okay. Ooh, there's a lot of texture in this one. So, yeah, I am getting to know Jethro Tull even more. I definitely recognize the sound and the aesthetic. Definitely recognize his voice. Definitely recognize the flute playing. And then him throwing in the festivities, the festive sound. So it literally is bells. You hear, orchestral chimes and you hear all of that. But there was actually something that like an inverted ring, like a recording of a chime that was inverted. That was kind of cool. So it's not really straightforward. We don't just have the standard bell sounds. They're kind of messing with it a little bit. We don't just have the standard counting. We don't just hear 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3. It's just all over the place. Polyrhythmic. And we're not used to that. Usually when we hear holiday music, it's more straightforward. Like hymns, carols, traditional tunes. Usually not going to be quite this complicated. So yeah, texture nice and thick and rich. And then the layers and the counting and the sounds are really complex and interesting. I would expect nothing less. Okay, and I also am soaking in what he's singing about. I did hear bells mentioned and solstice, I believe was already mentioned. I think that part of it is probably straightforward, which then leaves room for all the complexity behind it in the music. So we'll check out the lyrics soon. But I want to get back to the music. I'm going to back it up a little bit and we're going to keep going. Here we go. This is really fun so far though.
Ring solstice bells. Join together neath the mistletoe, by the holy oak whereon it grows. 7 druids Let's dance the seventh time. Sing the sound of bells gallantly chiming. Ring out these bells. Ring out, ring solstice bells. Ring solstice bells. Ring out those solstice bells. Ring out those solstice bells. Raise me to the distance of the sun, joyful as the silver planets run. Seven maids move in seven time. Sing the sound of bells gallantly chiming. Ring out these bells.
Okay, this is really fun. It's just very pleasant and creative, and I'm hearing lots of those little sounds that I'm getting to know from Jethro Tull. So I heard the little bat, bat. Well, that doesn't sound very pretty, but it's a little guitar sound, and it's on the offbeat. That's the best way I can imitate it. I remember that a lot from Thick as a Brick. And then, of course, just his voice. And I'm getting a kick out of him trying to hit that low note. That's low for him. He generally has a more mid to upper range voice. And I don't know, there's something fun-loving about it. Like, not super funny, but just like, I don't know, heartwarming. Because you know he has a sense of humor. You can hear it in his music writing. And so the fact that he's really going down there to hit that note, I think it just adds a little bit of lightness, even though it's a low note. There's lightness to that. So yeah, I was hearing more of the different rhythms. So I heard some 7 counts in there for sure. And I think I'm hearing more and more bells. I think I heard some handbells. You know, those of you that play handbells, I'm an experienced handbell player. Along with the chimes and all the orchestral bells. And the guitar is lovely. I like how the sound kind of crescendos, it grows, and you're thinking, oh, what's going on? And then we hear the ya-da-da-da-da-da, you know, the lovely flute line with the guitar. You sort of feel at home again. Like you might be out slipping and sliding around in the ice, but eventually you'll come back home and curl up in a blanket in front of the fire and warm up. But we are having fun outside in the cold here, aren't we? It did turn to a minor key for just a little bit, but I think that's just for variety. You don't want to be too happy. There is a such thing as too much of a good thing. So we had to have a little serious moment in there, maybe a moment of reflection. Or I don't know, maybe you're outside so long you realize you can't feel your toes anymore if it's too cold outside. But there's just something very warming, heartwarming about this song. And also energizing. It really does put you in the holiday spirit. Okay, back it up a little bit and continue on.
Sound the bells gallantly chiming. Ring out these bells. Ring out, ring solstice bells. Ring solstice bells. Ring out, ring out, ring out, ring
Okay, we've got to fade out. So the festivities continue. Wow, what a welcomed call for festivities for the holidays. And so there at the end, the organ sound came in, and we still definitely had all the bells in the background, including the percussion. Heard a lot more of the percussion there in the last third of the song as well. But hitting the cymbals, I almost felt like that was yet another bell. And then the flute over the top. This is the first time that I think I've heard his flute playing so intricately, imitating the vocals. And I do think that the flute is imitating the vocals more than the other way around, because his vocals usually sound like that. Like, this is what I'm used to his singing sounding like. A little bit nasally, and a little bit slidey. Not too many harmonies. There was a spot in there where I heard some harmonies, but it's mainly the motion of the line itself that forms the foundation for his singing. But I feel like the flute was doing a few new tricks. I heard it at least 3 times where there was a little slide into a note. And I just feel like, again, like he was singing through the flute. I do that with the violin. So I'm a singer, and when I'm singing, I picture the long lines with the bow. You sort of imitate that with the breath. And then likewise, when I'm using the bow, I'm picturing using the bow as breath as well. So it's all about breathing. And that is the basis of life, is it not? So you have to imagine that, and then it translates into phrasing. And that is where the musicality is born. And I feel like there was direct communication between his 2 talents. And I don't know if I have felt that connection with him before. I've felt like one is just an ornamentation of the other. Even like he's trying to burst out through the flute, his voice is trying to come out through that. Like even when he's playing and you hear him like vocalizing as he's playing some of the notes. But with this, I feel like they were sort of equal. And therefore, since they came from the same source, they're sort of imitating one another. Well, so the form of the piece was pretty straightforward as well. A section, major key, middle section, brief minor key. Then it returned to the major key, but then we went into not really a coda per se, but just an outro. And I think the whole piece is based on texture. So it's a thick and rich texture, like I said. The whole song rings out, as the name says. And there's just this constant ring in the background. It never stops, except in the moment where the guitar takes over. But I think we have to have those brief moments just to catch our breath. Otherwise, it would be too much the same. So did he put those moments in there on purpose? Like, was it more methodical? Like, we don't want it to be too much the same. Let's do this and this. Or was it just how the pieces of the puzzle fell together? Like he made that little guitar riff and he wanted to insert it in a few places, and this seemed like a good place and this seemed like a good place. And you never know how these things fall together. But his ear and his intention are both very talented, and so in the end it comes out really well balanced. So as a piece of music, this is very comfortable. But were there moments of discomfort? Yes. And some of the best art out there, in whatever form, makes you feel uncomfortable just a little tiny bit, because it keeps your attention, it keeps you listening or watching or looking, keeps you on the edge of your seat. And so I think that's some of the bubbling energy that I'm getting from this. It's very festive. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Let's hear how it started. It's always a good place to start. Wow. Just right out of the gate. So even the flute sounds like it's ringing. it's sort of doubled and it's got a reverb on it. But all of those bells right away, I heard like 3 different things, plus the cymbal sounds from the drums in the background. And it's just joyous right from the beginning. Let's hear it again. It's a cool intro. And then we're running up against one of those, it's a breath that happens early in the song, but it's establishing a pattern. So that makes sense here. And I think piano in there as well. Pianos ring out also.
Now is the solstice of the year.
See, it doesn't ring as much here. And then we have the claps.
7 mates move 7 times.
Yeah, so that was like the original breath spot. Now we're bringing the bells back in.
Bring out these bells.
So there was that low note. Love it. See? There's that, I don't know, reverse bell sound. Did you all hear it? I don't know if it's a sound that's being played back in reverse or if it's just one of the chimes is being allowed to ring in a certain way and then dampened. I'm not sure, but it sounds cool. Let's go back and hear it again.
Bring out these bells. Ring out, ring solstice bells. Ring solstice bells.
Okay. Wait, does it do it again? Okay, it did do it again. Okay. I'm not sure how many other times I heard that. Was it just there? I don't know. That's a little freaky, but it's cool. All right. All of this also feels very cold and chilly. So there's a lot of energy, but it's like you're outside in the cold and you're all bundled up. And so you're moving around a lot to try to stay warm. It's that kind of energy. I don't know. I picture being out like ice skating on an outdoor rink or something. And you're out there having fun. And then all of a sudden you realize, whoa, you're too cold. And you got to go back into the warming hut and like defrost your toes and your fingers. This is just so much fun. Okay, before we go on, let's check the lyrics. Now is the solstice of the year. Winter is the glad song that you hear. 7 maids move in 7 time. Have the lads up ready in a line. So yeah, we've got people out having a good time. Ring out these bells. Ring out, ring solstice bells. Join together neath the mistletoe. That'll help keep people warm. Do some smooching under the mistletoe. By the holy oak whereon it grows. 7 druids dance in 7 times. Sing the song. The bells call, loudly chiming. Ring out these bells. Ring out the solstice bells. Praise be to the distant sister sun. Joyful as the silver planets run. That's beautiful. 7 maids move in 7 times. Sing the song. The bells call, loudly chiming. Ring out. Okay. So definitely talking about festivities, people out celebrating, dancing, and then the 7 maids move in 7 time. So is that where we're hearing some of the 7 beats? Interesting. Did I hear the word 7? I might have. I was thinking maybe that was in my own head that I was thinking, oh, there's a 7, like a 7/4 or a 7/8 time. But I think maybe now I'm remembering I heard the word 7 in the lyrics. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I'll have to go back to one of those spots and see if it's actually in 7. But this is really beautiful. I really love the one about the joyful as the silver planets run. So it's not particularly about the Christmas holiday. It's more solstice, but it's very festive, and I think it can get anybody into the holiday spirit at this time of year. Okay, but it's just people having a good time, partying and being out there and enjoying the time of year and enjoying each other's company and enjoying nature, and it's wonderful. Let's see if we can find one of the 7 spots and see if it correlates with the 7 count.
The mistletoe, by the holy oak whereon it grows. 7 druids dance at 7th time.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Sing the song of bells, call and be chiming. Ring out these bells. Ring out.
Okay, I'm hearing that reverse bell thing again.
Ring solstice bells.
This is really beautiful. Oh, and then we have a breath with the guitar.
Ring
Okay.
out, ring out.
All right, now our toes are getting cold.
Bells.
Beautiful flute line.
Ring
Okay.
out, ring.
That little do-do-do-do, that I've not heard. That's part of the sliding, and I feel like it's more imitating the voice there, like that's part of the communication there. I've not heard that. Not to that extent, anyway, from Jethro Tull. All right, let's hear it again. That one was really slight. I think it happens again later, and it's a little bit more. So yeah, this section has more percussion, and it has the more minor key. But we have to have that, because then when the major key comes back, then it's even more joyous. So it makes sense. Let's see how we transition out of that.
Raise me to the distance, sister sun.
There's the guitar thing. That's a thick as a brick sound there. I love the organ.
Ring out these bells. Ring.
I like this simplistic line as well. These arpeggios. And it should go up here, but then it kind of deviates from there. But that's just an F major chord and then an inversion. Pretty basic. But I think we have to have that moment to regroup, because there's so many sounds and textures in here. You have to get your footing every now and then. Maybe if you're out on the ice skating, I don't know why. This isn't even skating away. This is just my visualization here. If you're out there, whoop, 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 you don't want to slip on the ice. Let's continue on, because I think another of those flute slidey moments is coming up, and it's an even better one. Let's hear.
Ring solstice bells.
The end of those arpeggios.
Solstice bells.
Bigger and bigger.
Ring out, ring out.
His voice is ringing.
Ring out, ring out.
Yeah, it was when the flute started back up. Oh, that's so neat. All right, his voice was ringing. Ring out, ring out. What a funny way to sing it. But it's like his voice was imitating something ringing as well. He's so clever. And I do really love how it ends. I'm going to keep playing this out because I like the ending of it. I love the flute line. I really do. It's so joyous. Seven. That was really neat. And it really thinned out towards the end, I think, as the night goes on. People go home and the festivities wind down. But again, when you go home, you know you get to go inside and cuddle up and warm up, sit in front of the fire, drink some hot beverage of some kind, and just sit with your loved ones and just be warm. I think warmth is sort of one of the points of this, but it's like the song itself is cold, like bells. You touch them, the metal is cold and the winter is cold. But because of that, you know that eventually there's going to be some warmth there for you. So I can already feel it. And it's very nice. Okay, that was Ring Out Solstice Bells by Jethro Tull. And I am feeling very festive now. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to the warmth of the season as well. So I wonder when this was released, since it was released in December ahead of the rest of the album. I'm wondering if this was played on the radio, like we hear radio stations today that play some of the classic pop music and classical holiday music. You know, Wham! Last Christmas and Mariah Carey, you know, all of those pop classics. So I'm just wondering if this was played a lot at that time, that year. Well, I enjoyed hearing it now. I will take this song with me through the festivities of the upcoming holiday season. And I'll be posting it during the holiday season so then I can share it with all of you. I just really like how joyful it is. So again, me getting to really know Jethro Tull, I hear all of his tricks, all of his creativity in this for sure. And it was beautiful. So will it go on my playlist? Yeah, it will. But I think it will always kind of remind me of this particular holiday season that's coming up, of this year. So thank you for listening along with me here. And I wish everyone, in whatever you celebrate, a happy holiday season, a nice winter for those of us in the hemisphere that has winter right now. For everyone else, happy summer. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just be okay. And keep listening.